Have you ever noticed how the dynamics of attraction change as we age? When you were 20, everything was loud, interest was shouted, flirting was obvious. It was a game of chase, often clumsy, often direct. But now that you are a man over 50, the game has changed completely. The rules are different. The signals are quieter. And unfortunately, most men haven't updated their rulebook. There is a tragic misunderstanding happening right now all over the world. Men of value, men of experience, men who have built lives of substance, are walking around believing they are invisible. They believe that because women aren't throwing themselves at them, or aren't giggling and blushing like teenagers, that the interest isn't there. They think, I'm too old, or the dating world has passed me by. But the truth is the exact opposite. You are not invisible. In fact, to a woman seeking stability, depth, and genuine masculine presence, you're more visible than ever. The problem isn't a lack of interest. The problem is a lack of translation. You're looking for neon signs in a world where women are using subtle frequencies. Women, especially mature women who have lived through their own histories of heartbreak and joy, do not flirt directly. They do not want to look desperate. They do not want to risk rejection any more than you do. They don't want to look easy. So instead of making a statement, they ask a question. They replace the risk of declaration with the safety of curiosity. And here is the part most men don't realize. A woman who wants intimacy with an older man, a woman who is considering opening her heart and her life to you will always, without fail, ask you two specific questions. Always, it is like a code hidden in plain sight. It is a ritual of feminine selection that has existed for thousands of years, evolved to protect her while inviting you in. These questions are the gatekeepers. If you answer them correctly, the gates open. If you miss them, or answer them with weakness, the gates remain closed, often forever. Before I reveal exactly what these two questions are, and how to answer them with the kind of grounded power that makes a woman feel safe, do me a favor, hit the like button now, not for the algorithm, but for yourself. It's a small commitment to learning, to becoming sharper, and tell me in the comments, have you ever looked back on a conversation from years ago and realized, wait, she was interested in me, but you only realized it when it was too late? Your engagement helps this message reach more men who need to stop missing the signs. Let's talk about the landscape you're navigating. It is crucial we set this stage correctly. Men over 50 often believe they are fighting an uphill battle against younger men. They look in the mirror and see grey hair, maybe a few wrinkles, a body that doesn't recover as fast as it used to, and they think this is a disadvantage. They believe the lie peddled by media and insecurities that youth is the only currency in the dating market. They think they're competing with the 30-year-old with the six-pack and the fast car, but you're not competing with him. You're playing a completely different sport. The younger man is a storm. He is chaotic. He is figuring himself out. He's often driven by ego and impulse. You are the shelter. You have something he cannot fake, no matter how hard he tries. You have history. You have survival skills. You have navigated storms that would drown a younger man. Let me tell you about the currency that actually matters to a woman looking for a partner. Not a plaything. That currency is emotional safety. It is presence. It is the feeling that a man is solid. Women, particularly those who have been through the ringer of the modern dating, are exhausted by potential. They are tired of projects. They are tired of raising boys who look like men. When a woman looks at you, she isn't looking for potential anymore. She's looking for a finished product. She wants to know if you are a man who has made peace with his demons. The real villain in your love life isn't women. It isn't your age. It isn't your receding hairline. It is misinterpretation. It is going through life thinking, she is just being polite. When in reality, she was cracking the door open just an inch to see if you would step forward. It is the internal narrative that tells you that you are invisible, which becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because when you believe you are invisible, you act invisible, you shrink, you avoid eye contact, and that shrinking is what turns women away, not your age. You must understand that women rarely reveal attraction directly. This is not about playing games. This is about biological and social protection. Think about it from her perspective. By the time a woman is 40 or 50, she has likely been hurt. She has been disappointed. She carries scars just like you do. Her tolerance for risk is lower. For a woman, revealing attraction is a vulnerable act. It exposes her to judgment, to rejection, to being seen as too much. So, feminine psychology is built around the concept of plausible deniability. She needs to be able to interact with you in a way that, if you are not interested, she can retreat without losing her dignity. She needs a cover story, and her cover story is conversation. Her cover story is questions. She operates in the shadows of communication, not the spotlight. She throws out a thread, hoping you will pull it. If you don't pull it, she assumes the connection is dead. But underneath the cover story, she is testing you. She is running a diagnostic scan on your soul. She is asking herself, is this man safe? Is he aware? Or is he just another man who is going to waste my time? The moment a woman starts seeing you as a man she could trust emotionally, physically, intimately, she switches modes. She switches from casual, polite conversation to intentional curiosity. She starts asking questions designed to expose 3 critical things about you. First, your masculinity. Not how much you can lift at the gym, but your internal strength. Are you a grounded man who stands firm, or an insecure man who crumbles under pressure? Can you handle her emotions without being triggered? Second, your availability. Not just your schedule, but your heart. Are you emotionally available? Or are you still hung up on the past? Is there space in your life for a co-pilot, or is the seat covered in old baggage? Third, your perception. Are you sharp enough to recognize her interest? Are you awake, or are you sleepwalking through the interaction? This is where the 2 questions show up. But to understand why they matter so much, you need the psychological foundation behind them. Most men over 50 expect straightforward signs because you grew up in a different world. You grew up in a world where people perhaps said what they meant more often, or maybe you just remember it that way. But the women of today, even the mature women in your age bracket, have adapted to a modern world of ambiguity. They have learned that being too direct scares men away or attracts the wrong kind of men, predators who sense desperation. They don't say, I am attracted to you, I want to get closer. I am thinking of you in a romantic way. Instead, they probe. They send out a sonar ping. They ask carefully selected questions to understand whether you are a man they can lean into without falling over. Here is the feminine fear, specifically with older men. They fear rigidity. They fear a man who is set in his ways. They fear a man who's become bitter. There is nothing more repelling to a woman than an older man who is angry at the world or angry at his ex-wife. They fear a man who is looking for a nurse or a maid rather than a lover and a partner. And they fear a man who has closed his heart because he has been hurt before. So, she hides her interest in curiosity. She places her desire inside the questions that look innocent to the untrained eye, and listen closely if you ever miss them. She rarely tries again. Women rarely make the same emotional offer twice. It feels too desperate to knock on a door that didn't open the first time, in her mind. If you didn't see the sign, you aren't perceptive enough to handle her heart. Feminine psychology works in layers. Women use questions the way men use actions. When a man is interested, he offers something, a gesture, help, guidance, protection. He does. When a woman is interested, she invites, she creates a space, she asks something, a question that reveals her desire for emotional closeness. There are dozens of random questions a woman might ask in daily life, but only 2 questions appear consistently when she's exploring intimacy with a mature man. I'll reveal them shortly. But first, understand this. A woman doesn't ask these questions because she's nosy. She doesn't ask them to fill silence. She asks them because she wants to feel your emotional temperature. She wants to know. Are you calm? Are you confident? Are you receptive to her energy? Do you live in your masculine or hide behind politeness? These questions are not informational. They're relational. They're designed to create emotional gravity between you and her. Think of them as small emotional bridges women place between themselves and a man they desire, just to see if he steps onto the bridge with presence. And when you do, it changes everything. The first question a woman asks when she desires intimacy with an older man is designed to answer her deepest fear. Is there room for me? You see, by the time a man is 50, he has routines, he has habits, he has his favourite chair, his favourite meal, his way of doing things. He has built a life that functions perfectly for one person. To a woman, this can look like a fortress. She looks at your life and wonders, is the bridge drawn up? Are the walls too high? If I try to come in, will I be an intruder interrupting his peace? Think of your life as a house over 5 decades. You have filled that house with furniture, your career, but your hobbies, your obligations, maybe your children or grandchildren. When a woman meets you, she is standing on the front porch, peeking through the window. She is trying to see if there is any empty space left for her to put her things. If she sees a house that is cluttered with rigid routines or closed doors, she walks away, so she asks this, often casually, often while looking away to make it seem less important. Do you spend a lot of time alone? At first glance, it looks innocent. It sounds like she's just making conversation, but make no mistake, this is a signal flare. This is a red flag of interest. This is a woman's way of asking, are you emotionally open or emotionally sealed? Are you capable of connection, or are you hiding inside your routines? She might phrase it differently and she might say, do you usually go out alone? Do you keep to yourself a lot? You seem like a man who enjoys solitude. Is that true? Are you seeing anyone, or just doing your own thing recently? The words change, but the core inquiry is the same. It is never about loneliness, it is about access. She is trying to determine if you are a lone wolf or a lost soul. A lone wolf is attractive, he is self-sufficient, strong, and independent. A lost soul is repulsive. He is isolated because he lacks the social skills to connect. If she had no interest in you, she wouldn't care how you spend your time. She wouldn't care if you sat at home staring at a wall for 20 years. In fact, if she wasn't interested, she would prefer you stay home so you don't bother her. But when she is drawn to you, the way women are often drawn to mature men who radiate calm strength, she wants to know if she can enter your world without forcing her way in. Most men, when asked this, panic slightly. They interpret the question through their own insecurities. They think, if I say yes, she'll think I'm a loser with no friends. Or they think, if I say no, she'll think I'm a player who is always out, so they answer defensively. Oh, no, I'm very busy, I have lots of friends, I'm always doing something. This sounds exhausting and fake. Or they answer too honestly in a depressive way. Yeah, it's just me and the dog. It gets quiet. I don't get out much. This sounds like a cry for help. Both of these answers kill the vibe. The first one sounds like you're trying too hard to prove you're popular. The second one sounds like you're seeking pity. Women do not want to be your social worker, and they don't want to be your fan club. They want to be your partner. She is looking for the solitude paradox. This is a concept in female psychology that is incredibly magnetic. Women desire a man who can be alone because it proves he's not needy but who chooses not to be when the right woman appears. She wants to be the exception to your solitude. If you are needy and can't be alone, that's repulsive. It means you will drain her energy. If you are rigid and won't let anyone in, that's hopeless. It means you will block her love. She wants the middle ground. The man who is complete on his own, but willing to share his completeness. Oh, how do you respond in a way that builds attraction? You answer with balanced masculinity. Calm, confident, receptive, but never needy. You acknowledge your independence, but you leave the door ajar. You show her that while your house is furnished, you have kept the best room empty, just in case a woman of value arrives. Try saying this. I enjoy my own company, and I value my quiet time. But I'm never closed to good company if the connection is right. Or perhaps I like my routines, I value my peace, but I'm always open to someone who brings something meaningful to the table. Do you see what this does? It flips the script. It tells her 1, I am not lonely, I am selective. High value. 2, I'm comfortable with myself, confidence. 3, I am open to you if you are worthy, challenge. This creates a psychological pull. Instead of you chasing her to prove you're not lonely, you're inviting her to qualify herself. You're saying, I am fine alone. Are you special enough to change that? This is the exact tone women crave. Open but not empty, receptive but not longing, strong without being detached. When you answer like this, she feels warmth, she feels possibility, she feels safety. She thinks, okay, he is strong enough to be alone, but soft enough to let me in. And that psychological safety leads her naturally to the second question. Once she knows there is space for her availability, she needs to know where the ship is sailing direction. Women do not follow men who are idle. They do not follow men who are running in circles. Biology dictates this. Evolution dictates this. In the wild, a tribe led by a man with no direction starved. Today, a relationship led by a man with no direction stagnates. A woman looks for a man who is anchored in his purpose but moving forward in his life, especially with men over 50. There is a dangerous stereotype that you are done, that you are just waiting for retirement, waiting for the grandkids to visit, or waiting for the end, that you have stopped growing. She looks at you and wonders, is this man the protagonist of his own movie, or is he just an extra waiting for the credits to roll? She wants to know if you are still alive inside. So, she asks, what are you looking for these days? Again, this is not small talk and this is not casual. This is a woman evaluating you as a romantic possibility. If she had no interest in you, she'd never risk asking something so revealing. It's too vulnerable. It's too intimate. It's too loaded. Women reserve this question for men they see as potentially meaningful. Variations include, what do you want in your life right now? What is your focus these days? What are you hoping to find at this stage of your life? Where do you see yourself heading? She is asking to read your internal compass. She isn't asking for a 5-year business plan. She isn't asking for your financial portfolio. She is asking for your vitality, because for a woman to open herself emotionally or physically to a man, especially a mature man, she needs to feel that he knows who he is. She needs to feel that he isn't wandering, he isn't lost, he isn't drowning in unresolved issues from his past marriage. She needs to know he isn't looking for a woman to fix him or distract him from his boredom. He moves with intention. This question is her way of discovering, is this man's life heading somewhere I'd want to walk toward? Does he have purpose? Is he the kind of man I could trust with my vulnerability if I get in the car with him? Are we going on an adventure, or are we just driving around the block until we run out of gas? Men who answer this question too literally lose the moment. They often give answers that sound tired or passive. Oh, I just want a quiet life. Translation. I am boring. I'm taking it day by day. Translation. I have no plan. I don't know, just seeing what happens. Translation. I am lost. I'm just looking for someone to hang out with. Translation. I want casual sex with no responsibility. These answers tell her I am drifting. Women do not invest emotionally in drifting men, regardless of age. A drifting ship is dangerous to board because it eventually crashes on the rocks. On the other hand, some men answer with too much intensity, too soon. I am looking for a wife. I want to get married again immediately. This reeks of desperation. It feels like you are trying to fill a vacancy, and any woman will do. It makes her feel like a replaceable part in your machine, not a unique individual she wants to be seen as. How do you answer this question with masculine clarity? You don't have to give a speech. You don't have to reveal your entire life plan. You just need to show direction and standards. You need to show that you are moving towards something positive, not running away from something negative. You need to communicate that you are building a life that you love, and you are looking for a complement to that life, not a crutch. Try one of these responses. Speak them slowly. Look her in the eye. I'm at a point where I'm building a simpler, stronger chapter in my life. I'm focused on quality time, quality experiences, and the right people. I'm done with the drama. I'm interested in depth. Or I'm looking for connection that feels natural, not forced. I know who I am. I know what brings me joy, and I'm looking for someone who matches that piece. Or even I'm focused on living with more intention. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor, but I want to share that enjoyment with someone who appreciates it. I'm looking for a partner in crime, not just a roommate. These answers do 3 profound things. 1. They show you are not stagnant. You are moving towards quality, towards intention, towards peace. 2. They show you have emotional clarity. You know what you want. 3. They open a door where she can see herself fitting into your direction. She hears partner in crime or depth, and she thinks, I can be that. I want to be that. This is powerful for a woman. It gives her the green light she was hoping for. It tells her you are not emotionally asleep. Because here is the truth. Most men over 50 don't realize women want a man who is alive. Not just alive physically breathing and eating, but alive inside. They want the spark. They want to feel that being with you will expand their life, not shrink it. Let's pause for a moment and look at the bigger picture. Why these 2 questions? Why always these 2? Because they represent the X and Y axis of a relationship. Question 1. Do you spend time alone? Is the X axis up with space? Is there room for me? Question 2. What are you looking for? Is the Y axis movement? Where are we going? If you have space but no movement, you are stagnant, you are boring, If you have movement but no space, you're unavailable, you're a workaholic or a playboy. A woman needs both coordinates to locate you as a partner. When a woman asks these questions, she is trying to triangulate your position in the world to see if it matches hers. A man who is open. Question 1 and has direction. Question 2 creates emotional gravity. He becomes a planet she wants to orbit, or perhaps land on. Women don't need perfection. They don't need you to be a millionaire or look like a movie star. They need clarity. Clarity creates safety. Safety creates desire. This is why these two questions appear over and over again. Even if the woman doesn't consciously realize she's doing it, her instincts are driving her to ask. Let's visualize how this plays out in real life, so you don't freeze when it happens. Imagine you are talking with a woman, maybe at a cafe, a bookstore, a friend's dinner party, or even on a first date initiated online. The conversation is flowing. There is a calmness between you. She laughs a little more than necessary at your jokes. She touches her hair. She tilts her head. She looks at you with a softness in her eyes. The atmosphere is pleasant, but you're unsure. Is she just friendly? Is she just nice? And then, out of nowhere, there is a pause in the conversation. She takes a sip of her drink, looks at you, and asks, "So, geez, do you spend a lot of time alone?" This is the moment. The air freezes. Most men rush to fill the silence. Don't. Take a breath. Smile. Lean back. This is her first emotional step toward you. This is her opening the door an inch. If you respond with presence, "I value my solitude, but I make time for the people who matter," she feels encouraged. She exhales. The door opens wider. The conversation continues. It gets deeper. She feels that you are solid. Then, perhaps 10 minutes later, or maybe on the second date, she drops the second anchor. "So, John, what are you really looking for at this stage of your life?" This is the closer. This is her deciding whether to invest. If you answer with uncertainty, "I don't know," whatever she retreats, she friend zones you. But if you answer with clarity, "I'm looking for a partner to build a great chapter with," she feels possibility. Her attraction locks in. Men think these moments are coincidences. They think they are just chatting. They are not. They are emotional checkpoints. They are tests, and women rarely ask these two questions to a man they don't desire. Think about it. Does a woman ask it a man she finds repulsive if he spends time alone? No. She hopes he spends all his time alone, far away from her. Does she ask a man she finds boring what he is looking for? No, she doesn't care. She just wants the check so she can leave. The fact that she is asking is the victory. The fact that she is asking is the sign. So, what must you remember from today? You must remember that as a man over 50, your greatest asset is your perception. You have lived long enough to know that actions speak louder than words, but in the early stages of dating, questions speak the loudest of all. A woman who desires intimacy won't announce it with a megaphone. She won't confess it openly like a high school crush. She won't throw herself at you in a way that risks her dignity. She will ask two questions. 1, are you emotionally open? Do you spend a lot of time alone? 2, are you emotionally alive? What are you looking for these days? These questions are not about facts. They're about connection. If you recognize them, you enter the moment with presence. You step onto the bridge she has built. You walk through the door she has unlocked. If you miss them, the moment disappears. The door closes. And as I said before, once a door closes in the early stages of dating, women rarely reopen it. They move on to a man who hears them. Don't let the best connections of your life slip away because you were waiting for a billboard when she was sending you a whisper. Listen to the whisper. Decode the questions. Step into your masculine authority and answer with the truth of a man who knows his worth. When you do that, you will find that women are not confusing. They are not hiding. They are waiting for the man who is awake enough to see them. If this message resonated with you, if you felt a light bulb go on in your mind about a past interaction, or if you feel more prepared for the next one, I want to know. We are building a community of men here who are choosing to live with awareness, not passivity. Comment the phrase, "I see the signs" below. Let this be a declaration to yourself that you are done being invisible, that you are done missing the cues, that you are ready to engage with women from a place of understanding and power. I see the signs. Type it, own it, And if you want to understand the deeper layers of female psychology, the things they never tell you, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. The next video is going to go even deeper into the signals women give when they're ready to be led. Until then, stay grounded, stay sharp, and always keep moving forward.